Hey everyone, it's Melissa. I'm in the middle of a kitchen renovation right now, in which I ordered Ikea cabinets to replace the cabinets I had, which were built in place in the 70s. They weren't like boxes I could remove. I had to demolish the whole thing. And I'm putting these in its place, which I think will be an upgrade. I've been pleasantly surprised at how sturdy the Ikea cabinets are once they're put together. Even though I know Ikea isn't the highest quality cabinets, I still feel like they're a great value and I'm happy I got them. However, I think that the installation instructions for especially the base cabinets leave a lot to be desired. For Ikea cabinetry, you're supposed to install some metal brackets on the back of the cabinet, and they hook onto these rails you install on your wall level, kind of like a French cleat. This is what it looks like. You mount this rail of metal on your wall, and you're assuming that your wall is plumb, and then you hook these metal brackets that install on the back of your cabinet right on here. It allows the cabinet to slide on the rail where you need it, and then you can screw them secure. Metal like this really does hold a lot of weight, but for base cabinets, the part that I find frustrating is that in order to mount these onto the rail, you kind of have to tip the cabinet in. And if you have obstacles you're cutting around, like outlets or plumbing, it makes it really difficult. For base cabinets, besides the rail, you're also supposed to install the legs on each cabinet, which level individually. So if your floor isn't totally level, you adjust each corner's legs until your cabinet is level. If you've ever leveled cabinetry, you know that this can be so infuriating and difficult, especially when you have so many different points of contact. Almost nobody's subfloor is completely level, and for cabinetry it's important to get it totally level so that the cabinets actually line up nicely next to each other, everything is square, and your countertop installs properly. So let me show you my brilliant solution for installing base cabinets from Ikea perfectly level every time. You're actually going to build up a separate piece of framing that's going to serve as your toe kick. That way you can get all of this wood totally level, which as a solid piece is easier than leveling each individual cabinet. Then you can just install the cabinet boxes from Ikea directly on top and everything should line up perfectly. In my kitchen, right now, we don't have cabinets or counters, but I jerry-rigged this sink situation. It's like installed on our drain and the faucet's installed, and then all these pieces of wood are holding it up. So just ignore this. You're not gonna have this. But because I have this situation and I wanted a functional sink while we renovated, I had to build my 2x4 framing for my base of the cabinets piece by piece in the space. If you didn't have this obstacle, you could build your framing like in your garage and then move it in and install it.
I juggle a lot between my 4 kids, running my business, and doing DIY projects. The last thing I want to worry about is whether or not the lawn needs mowing. This summer, we upgraded to a robotic lawnmower, and it's been a huge time saver. The one we have is the Sunseeker X3 Plus. As far as robotic mowers go, this one's more affordable, but still has premium features like wire-free setup, Vision Tech obstacle avoidance, and more. The AO Navi navigation system guides the mower across the lawn so it can detect boundaries, covering areas as large as 0.3 acres. My kids love the little robot. They named it RoboCrop, and I love that I never have to worry about them playing outside when the lawn is getting mowed, like with a traditional mower. The Sunseeker X3 Plus can detect over 200 obstacles, including moving ones like kids and pets, with Vision AI technology. If the machine sees something in the way, it immediately stops and goes around. It can also sense rain. If it rains, the mower automatically stops and returns to base. It also automatically returns to base to charge when the battery's low. It's truly hassle-free. Our little RoboCrop mower is durable too. It is waterproof and has independent suspension wheels to handle uneven terrain with ease. It can climb sloped lawns up to 17 degrees. The blades on the floating cutting system have a 20 centimeter cutting width and an adjustable cutting height of 20 to 60 centimeters for the perfect cut every time. You can control this setting, set up multiple zones for your lawn area, and more via the Sunseeker Smart app that controls your robotic lawnmower through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. The best thing about a robotic lawnmower, in my opinion, is how much quieter they are than traditional mowers. At only 59 decibels, it's as quiet as a conversation and doesn't disrupt time outdoors. I wish all my neighbors would get one too, so I could sleep in on Saturday mornings. If you're ready to enjoy completely hands-free mowing, take advantage of my promo code to buy the Sunseeker X3 Plus today.
You can see here that I have my corner cabinet in place, and what you're going to want to pay attention to is how deep you build your framing. For me, I chose 22 inches so that the 25-inch cabinet would have a 3-inch toe kick. Does that make sense? You could make the toe kick deeper if you'd like. Let's say you wanted an inch deeper, you would just build the width of your framing at 21 inches. Of course, when all is said and done, I will have a piece of wood covering up the framing to make it look pretty, so my toe kick really won't be that deep. For strength, it's best for your 2x4s to be solid pieces. It will be easier to level this way as well, versus working with lots of different pieces of 2x4s you're trying to piece together. So this means that my 2x4 running along the back of the cabinets had to be almost 10 feet long, and then the one in the front was like almost 8 feet long. The runners that go horizontal are placed strategically to support the cabinets. So these are going to be placed based on your cabinet configuration. Where I have a 12-inch cabinet, my runners are going to be pretty close together. Where I have a 38-inch corner cabinet, they're going to be pretty far apart. Your 2x4 support pieces should line up with the end of the cabinet in the center of the 2x4. That way you can use it to support both cabinets next to each other. So you can see it here and here that I periodically drilled pocket holes to put a screw down at an angle and secure the framing to the subfloor. You can also choose to secure your framing to the joists in the wall. It's up to you. But it does need to be secured into the home structure. Wherever you have those points, that's where you're going to shim it up. So I'm screwing right through where I shim my framing level. In the front here, it's 5/8 of an inch higher than in that corner where it's totally flat on the subfloor. And back here, it's only 1/2 inch. So as I'm going, I'm just constantly checking my level, all directions and diagonal to make sure my framing is all perfectly level. You can see that my horizontal support pieces for each cabinet are also installed the same way with pocket holes and screws. But if you were building this like as one piece and bringing it into your kitchen, you could easily just screw it here. I only use pocket holes because this piece went in first and I built it as I went, so I needed to be able to access the screws from this side. Let's talk about this situation I have going on here. So I had kind of a weird situation where I have a vent back there that goes underneath my toe kick, and before my cabinets actually covered the vent. So I uncovered it and I decided to do this solution where I built a box, a custom sized box out of plywood, and then I wrapped it in tinfoil because I thought that that would prevent the heat transfer, like the heat coming out of that vent absorbing into my wood. I figured it was kind of like creating a faux metal heat duct. I also decided to put this tinfoil on the subfloor as well to prevent heat transfer, and I can already tell it's really working great because I can feel the flow of air coming out of this. So what's going to happen when I put my pretty toe kick over my framing is I'll just create like a vent here and it'll come right out. This is going to be removed, so it'll all be exposed here, and there's a 21-inch cabinet going in. I think the best thing about installing cabinets this way is not that, you know, when you put the boxes on, they're all perfectly level and it's so easy to install, but it's that when you have obstacles like this, or let's say you have a drain pipe out of your wall, it is so much easier to mark them and cut them out of the back of your cabinet and then put your cabinet level and just slide it into place versus trying to get that mounted on the rail at an angle and lined up with your obstacle. This kitchen remodel is in full swing, but there's still so much more to come, so please hit subscribe and hit that notifications bell to follow along. Welcome to the woods and see how it all turns out.